Europe is packed with loads of epic nature spots and places to explore. But here's the thing, people always talk about the exact same places, and they're great, but what about your own adventure? Something more unique, something that will create memories for you for the rest of your life. So we've narrowed it down to 8 top destinations, and the last one is one of my favorite places in Europe, and it's kind of a hidden gem. A lot of locals don't even know about it. Hey! Probably noticed that I haven't mentioned a certain part of Europe. There's a very good reason for that, and I'll share with you why at the end. Ready? Let's go! Probably the least known spot on the list for people who are in Sweden. It's gonna be pretty obvious for them. Gotland in Sweden, this incredible island. You have to take a ferry pretty close to Stockholm. It takes you about 3.5 hours to get there. It's this magical place with delicious food, loads of secrets. Like there's one Russian cafe that has an old priest's bones under the floors, and they will not move it because it's a priest. And Viking history. I did end up camping there because they've got Allemansratten in Sweden. If you don't know what that is, it's like the freedom to roam. So they say that you can pick any wild mushrooms or wild berries, but the thing is you have to know which ones are okay to eat. As soon as you get into Visby, the capital, you'll be so happy you're there. I'm so stoked on Sweden right now. Next spot, it's actually in one of my favorite countries I've ever been to, and it's shaped like a chicken, so it's something that you definitely can't forget about. I mean, that's not the reason why. If you Google Slovenia, the first thing that is sure to come up is Lake Bled. It's a really famous lake with a little church in the center. You can actually swim out there. It takes about 2 kilometers to get out there, but we're not here to talk about the typical touristy things. So instead, I want to suggest Lake Bohinj. It's a lot closer to Triglav National Park, and that's one of the reasons why we ended up stopping here.
Yeah, we're going up 2,000 meters.
Okay, cool. That's why it's a bit chilly. All right, ready? And it's the perfect place for camping or van life. And we were here in the thick of summer when there was a big heat wave coming through. There's rivers and lakes in the area that you can take a cold dip in. It's really refreshing. Then of course, it was a really short drive to get to Triglav National Park. And this is definitely a place you should also put on your list, especially if you love mountains. Triglav, the highest peak in Slovenia, is just under 3,000 meters. This is so much fun. Such a thrill. Oh, look at this view. It's such a small country, you can pretty much explore all of its parts, not just the mountains, but also get to the sea. And one of the reasons I keep going back is because I've had such good experiences with the people. You found me! If you've ever wanted to kayak next to an active volcano, or go scuba diving with whales, and warm your toes in black sand beaches, and love hiking to waterfalls, the Azores are for you. It's literally an adventurer's dream.
This is so beautiful. I feel like I'm walking in high definition.
It's an archipelago in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Portugal. It actually belongs to Portugal. I'd say it's one of the places that you could visit any time of year, depending on what kind of a traveler you are. If you're okay with all 4 seasons when you're traveling, including potentially snow if you're hiking up Mount Pico, you can go during the winter time. Biggest tip for you is to book in advance, and you will definitely need to get your own means of transport, because when I was there I had a really hard time with public transit. There's no timetable, nothing, so I have a feeling it's one of those things that probably doesn't exist anymore, so I don't feel like waiting 2 hours to take my chances with no cash, because I'm an idiot. I didn't take cash out. So I called a taxi and he is coming in 10-12 minutes, so yeah. Food is also incredible, and each island will have its own specialty. And if you can, go when there's a festival, because you can try a bunch of different things at the exact same time. Oh, now I'm getting hungry. What you doing, Bella? This next country is actually super famous, but I want to give you some alternatives to the typical places that you might go. Especially if you're a Game of Thrones lover, you would definitely go to Dubrovnik. So a lot of people go here and then they'll pop up to Split. I'd like to suggest Dinara National Park and Cetina, and I loved it way more. The really cool thing about Cetina is that even if it's 40 degrees out, which it was when I was there, the water will stay really cold. It was actually so cold. So cold. It broke my GoPro. And the sunrises in this part in the summer are gorgeous. I hitchhiked with some locals and I got to know them and we had some beers together. Just really cool people. And I feel like you only get that when you go out of these touristy traps. But yeah, now this place has become quite touristy since I went many years ago. But if you do have the chance to go maybe in the shoulder season or maybe really early in the morning during the week, and then go to these lakes. It's like Jurassic Park on steroids, but minus all of the deadly dinosaurs that would eat you. If you love waterfalls, I highly recommend this place. She's literally the best adventure buddy. Yeah. Ah, check it out. We're getting close to the top. This next one is definitely more well known and still really explored by a lot of people within Europe already. The Dolomites in Italy. So nestled up in the northern region. This is a place to go if you love climbing, via ferratas, really interesting World War II bunkers. It's actually one of the reasons why they have so many via ferratas. I think the Dolomites is gonna get like really busy in the next couple of years because they're gonna be hosting the next Winter Olympics. So I would definitely go before then. The time of year that you do go will affect the kinds of activities that you can do, but when it's snowing, you can go skiing, no problem. You can stay in a lovely little mountain hut. There's just so many options. And of course, since you're in Italy, you have delicious food. And it's food that I would say a lot of travelers really love. It's one of those countries where I feel like no matter what, you're gonna like something that you eat. No matter what kind of adventure sport you like, you'll be able to do it here in the Dolomites, surrounded by incredible nature. And I would say it's a nice, more affordable alternative to Switzerland. It will be more expensive in this part compared to other parts of Italy, but if you're deciding between Switzerland or Dolomites, go for the Dolomites. What do you think? We're doing pretty good so far, huh? Bella and I are now back onto the roads. In case you're curious, we're actually exploring Andalusia in the south of Spain. We come here pretty often because my partner's got family here. It's close to the sea, got lots of little hiking, caves to explore, but you can also go to the beach. And of course, tapas are super cheap here. This one isn't on the list. I guess it's just a bonus one, but come towards Cabo Rogata and Almeria, and that's what you'll find. Found some shade. I mean, it's not hot, but it's not cold either. Anyways, next one on our list. Trains, waterfalls, Harry Potter freaks. This one's for you. Also, there's a lot of other things. The Scottish Highlands. Lots of things to explore and see. And if you are a Harry Potter freak like me,
Harry!
we are committed Harry Potter fans. You'll definitely want to check out some of the places like the Glenfinnan Via Aqueduct. Did I say that right? The Glenfinnan Aqueduct. You can also try Scotch whiskey, see the history of castles coming to life, and of course visit these little cuties, the Highland cows. Look at this cutie! Oh my goodness! One of the best times to go is actually in the fall. You can see all the leaves changing color and it just really paints a beautiful scene. If you feel brave enough, definitely rent a car and drive on the other side of the road because they drive on the left, not the right. Although I guess if you're from the UK and you're watching this, you're gonna be like, it's no big deal. There's a lot of places that you can only get to by car. And if you book in advance or you go in the off season, you can do it on a budget. Anyways, this video is not about cities at all, but if you do happen to go to some cities, Edinburgh has got to be one of the best. I only spent a little bit of time there, but there's so much to see and do. I don't know what's happening here. And make sure you definitely go to a pub for one night and get that experience. It's pretty special. We're getting closer and closer to the end of our list. You are within a valley surrounded by mountains and fjords. If you've already guessed Bergen, Norway, you're right. You can literally take the funicular up or you can walk up and all of a sudden you're just in the thick of nature. Just walking up. It's a fairly steep but fairly easy walk up. It's very easy to follow, and then you get to the very top where the cable car lets everybody out. We're gonna go as far as we can
and just enjoy. And keep our eyes peeled for trolls.
You're surrounded by all of these hikes that you can go and do, and you're right on the water. Like, what else could you ask for? Not just hiking, not just exploring troll parks, but also going kayaking in a fjord, maybe going to see some whales. So many things you can do. We're getting close to the end, Bubs. You must be hungry, huh? Did I save the best for last? No, they're all amazing, but I did save it for last because it is a place that I just keep going back to year after year ever since we discovered it. Now, what's really funny is that I had been in Spain and actually the Iberian Peninsula for quite a few years until I'd heard of this place. So when one of my Spanish friends had told me about Picos de Europa, I was like, what? This incredible place in Spain, really close to the sea and a bunch of beaches where you can go surfing with tons of mountains. You can climb, hike, go into caves. Like, it just sounds epic. And it is. There's really good food. I would say it's one of the best places in all of Spain. Don't tell the other autonomous regions I said that. They'll probably flip. And this, my battery died, so Bella and I are back in here. Those are the 8. Now you're probably wondering, why the heck haven't I included any of Eastern Europe? There's a really good reason for that, because I actually haven't explored a lot of Eastern Europe, and I would never want to recommend something that I don't know for myself. But what's really cool is this year in 2025, one of my goals is to go conquer a bunch of the peaks in Eastern Europe, but the idea is to take the van there. So if you hit the subscribe button and give this video a like, that'll help actually reach more people and help me make more videos for you. Because that's why I'm here. I want to help people just like you travel the world as much as possible. It was really hard to narrow it down, but I think we've got a good variety of things. This is a really cool community. So if you have recommendations, drop them down in the comments below. And if you want to know more of my suggestions, I've got a Patreon and a website where I have tons more ideas for you to get after your own adventures. Anyways, take care, my friends. Get after your adventures, and I'll see you soon.